planned obsolescence. My stories. Just as Ricky was saying earlier, technology these days, sure, it's great. You can take your phone and go on the internet, do music, look at news, do anything you want to basically, but unless you have a really high-end laptop or a Mac or something like that, then they don't generally last more than 2 or 3 years. I guess there's an exception. If you really know what you're doing with your computers, you can, I guess, have upkeep and keep them running and replace parts, but to me it's kind of like a used car. You know, if you're going to have something like that and it just keep going bad, you might as well just buy a new one, and that's kind of their plan, really, I think. They give you a good laptop. It works fine for 2, 3 years. Sometimes it can last for 4 years. It really depends on wear and tear, but they just aren't built to last, honestly. And although I'm not really a collector of vintage audio like Ricky, in all honesty, I do greatly see the value of these old recorders and how they last longer. It's just extremely obvious, I think, and I think many people would probably agree. There are some who would disagree because they don't like old recorders, but I mean, hey, I'm not a big fan of them. I think they're cool. They're not the best thing in the world, but I have to give credit where credit's due, because I mean, these countless recorders that Ricky has that he's shown to me, they still work, and if they don't, they can be fixed, but a lot of them still work. I mean, I don't really know how else to explain it. It's just the proof is just with these recorders, if you play them, they work. Ricky gave me this one for my birthday 2 years ago, June 1st, 2009. I may have got this on the 2nd of June. I think that's when it is, because that's when this tape is labeled. But he gave me this General Electric tape recorder. The model number. It's model number 35015C. It is DC bias, I think, if I remember correctly. Is that correct, Ricky?
Yep.
Yeah. It is DC bias.
It does sound surprisingly good for DC bias. Not
good.
that much sibilance. Just seems to be a better one than than a lot of the DC biases.
It sounds pretty good.
And our brother Sosthenes.
Yes. This is side B of the tape. I was recording 1 Corinthians, so try to listen to it. The tape says high energy on it.
That's the leader.
I never noticed that before. That's weird. Alright, anyway.
Rewind it. You have to rewind it.
Immediately stops.
Or is that the side too? You flip it over, you have to rewind it.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Well, let's give a couple examples of here how this thing still works, even though it's really
From the
quite
80s.
old. It's quite old.
Early 80s, probably.
And I'm having to buy a new laptop already. The laptop I have now, I only got to use it for 1 year of college, and it broke down on me finals week of college.
This is ridiculous.
When you need it the most, it fails.
I know, it's Murphy's Law.
It fails. Of course, there are some other factors, like my entire family used that laptop, so it pretty much got owned, wear and tear. Of course, that always happens, but still, it's a cheap laptop from the start. It was a Gateway, and I don't have anything against Gateway and Dell, except for their laptops, because they really suck. Don't get Gateways or Dells. Seriously. It's just not that good. Well, let's try it out.
It might be on the blank tape. There's a volume out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the blank tape. You didn't rewind enough.
Alright.
It was at the. I think it was at the middle of the tape when the last recording was made on side A.
Right. Okay. I guess we'll have to just keep rewinding. This tape is 90 minutes, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of recording.
Or it's 92 actually. It's 46 per side. For some reason, some of those bulk recorded type tapes that people used back in the day for messages and stuff were 92, like odd, like 62, 92, stuff like that, instead of like 60 and 90, I think.
Anyway.
I guess just to add a tiny little bit more tape just in case it. I guess the timing was off.
Right.
A little bit.
Well, about the laptop in finals week, the thing that saved me was having a flash drive, so I ended up having my work still there, and I didn't lose it all, but, I mean, and we couldn't believe it. We went to the store and they said, your motherboard is fried, it'll cost you $400 to get it replaced. $400.
Are you dead serious? They said that?
That's what they said.
I probably told you the story with this TV.
Go ahead and tell them the story.
Okay. Right here, we have a Pioneer TV. A big screen projection TV is probably rounding up, by the way. Pioneer model SD-P5053. Or maybe it's an O because it's pretty fat to be a 0. But it's probably a 0 because it's with other numbers. But anyway, thing is, when Evan mentioned that it cost $400 to replace the motherboard.
One part.
You won't believe the similarity here. In the year probably 2005. If not that, 2006. One of those years. Probably 05, but I'm not 100% sure. We had got this big screen projection TV for free. Great deal. Big TV for free. TV was manufactured in the year I was born and the year Evan was born, 1991. Anyway, this TV had a problem. On the bottom of the picture was smushed up a little bit, about 3 inches from the bottom of the screen. And on the top, the picture was stretched out so much that the top part of the picture wasn't even on the screen. It was unable to be viewed. The middle of it was pretty much fine. So basically, the picture's aiming at the screen was shifted up, with the bottom squished and the top stretched. You get the idea. So we went over to the repair shop and we asked the repairman, well, we described the problem, we were trying to figure out what was bad on the TV, you know, things like that. And the repairman said it would be $400, same price, $400 to replace the board, referring to the entire very large circuit board out of, I think there were 2 large circuit boards on the bottom, referring to one of those large circuit boards in the bottom of the TV. Entire circuit board chock full of the chips, resistors, capacitors, transistors, you name it. All on that board. Replace the entire board because of that problem for $400. That's too much money. So I just checked the time. So no, we weren't going to go for that. That was way too much. And for an entire board, that was ridiculous. Or asinine, as Hank Hill would say. So anyway, we didn't do it. So we went back home. My brother looked on the internet and typed in the problem that was wrong with the TV and went to some frequently asked question things on the internet. And lo and behold, another person with the exact same model TV had the exact same problem. And guess what? He knew the problem. Too many toasters. No, that wasn't the problem, but no. But he said it was a couple of capacitors, a 10 microfarad and I think an 8.2 microfarad. And he even mentioned which ones on the circuit board they were. It's capacitor or whatever, and capacitor or whatever. I don't remember the numbers. Now, I didn't have the 8.2, but luckily I had a 10 in my box full of different capacitors already in my possession. So, open up the TV, get the soldering iron, go on the board, locate the capacitor, which was said which one it was, unsolder the capacitor, 10 microfarad, get one out of my junk box full of the capacitors, solder it in, put the board in, turn the TV on, and it works! And that wasn't $400, and that wasn't the whole board. That was one tiny little capacitor that doesn't even cost much, and it was already in that box anyway. And it fixed the thing for free! Instead of $400 for an entire board, whenever only one little capacitor is bad, the repair guys seem too lazy to find the problem. So that's my conclusion. Any more on that, Evan?
It's just amazing what you can fix stuff cheaper than people will want to charge you now. Basically, I guess a lot of the idea is, well, we know how to do this stuff and you don't, so either you have to pay us a lot of money to figure it out, or you're just
the whole board.
And people are desperate usually, so they'll just say, alright, I guess I'll pay it, I have no other choice. And don't get me wrong, not everybody thinks that. There are good people out there who just want to help, and I understand, yeah, they gotta make money and stuff too, but still, outrageous that he had this one problem that could be easily fixed for almost next to nothing, but they just wanted to replace the entire thing. That's like saying, if you have a cold, they're saying, well, you could have a cold or you could have pneumonia, so we're going to give you hardcore antibiotics and make you pay hundreds of dollars for it. Well, we could just give you some NyQuil.
Good point, good point. Now do you want to show your tape recorder operate? It should be on some recordings, so don't start recording from here.
Okay, we'll see if it'll play some recordings here.
Hello? So I understand you're using the bathroom right now, right?
See,
Good. So did you start it or are you already finished?
I'm already finished. That's kind of an odd question. So, are you, like, recording me now? Is that what you called?
Did you wash your hands yet?
Yeah, are you recording me or something?
That's not up to you.
By the way, just after a while, I came to expect that just about every time Ricky called me, he would probably be recording me. So I usually asked him whenever he called me.
I have plenty of recordings I've made on various tape machines of Evan Rogers on the phone. I have him on reel-to-reel. I have him on 8-track, on cassette. This is great.
To receive that information.
Now, like, are you recording me or what?
Oh, yes, I am.
Notice how he said that's not up to you, as in he was not going to give me the information. Then I just simply asked him one more time, and he said he was. You got to be hard to get information out of.
Yeah, I knew it.
This is on your tape, man. This is on your tape.
Hi.
Oh, boy. You want to go ahead and come upstairs and we see each other on the phone? Okay.
Question. Was this when we were at your old house?
Obviously, because of the upstairs part. In 2009, no doubt.
I remember. By the way, whenever I said question in that way, that's the way that Dwight Schrute says it.
Aww. Aww.
Sadly, I no longer have that ringtone on my phone. That's a funny ringtone. I like it. Anyway, that's...
1 minute tape left on here.
What's that? Okay, yeah, only a little bit longer left on the tape. So that's a demonstration of how these old things, they still work, and for a long time they work. You know, if you replace one part on this tape recorder, you'd probably have it for years. But with a laptop, it wouldn't last long at all. You'd have to replace it the next year probably, at extreme expense. That's my story.
Voiced by Evan P. Rogers. On the 24th of June 2011. Hope you enjoyed it. The same day that the Phillips came in the mail. Freaking tape.